Hello and greetings to everyone in the Diocese of Joliet, and thank you for joining us for this series of reflections on some of the key events in Israel's journey found in the book of Exodus as they journey from the place of bondage to the place of freedom, from Egypt to Canaan. And as today we will see particularly the journey from fear to faith. I'm John Ellison. I live in Wheaton, and I have an ongoing practice in spiritual direction and pastoral counseling. My wife and I are members of St. Michael Parish, where I was formerly the director of the RCIA in adult faith formation. Today, the event that we want to unpack a bit is found in Exodus chapter 14, where the Israelites, under Moses' leadership, find themselves in the awkward position of being trapped between the Red Sea on one side and Pharaoh's advancing army on the other. I like to think of our symbolic system as our spiritual immune system. Our symbolic system is the way we symbolize or picture the reality based on our experience of it. And when our symbolic system comes to a conclusion that is not according to the truth, we are at grave spiritual risk. A healthy symbolic system always have reference to the greater reality of God's faithfulness. When we defect into assumptions about God that are not true, we are essentially in a spiritually autoimmune condition, which attacks the very root of a healthy spiritual life, which should be boundless trust and confidence in God. And so the Israelites defected into the fight, flight, or freeze posture. They could not fight. They had no way of overcoming the Egyptian army. They could not flee. They had the Red Sea on the other side. And so they were stuck and frozen in the ice of fear. And then Moses introduces a fourth option, which was simply this: fear not. The Lord will fight for you. Stand still and see the salvation of God. We need to begin to listen to the authentic words that do proceed from God. I remember a few years ago when I was assisting a young lady in her journey through the RCIA into full communion. A journey so rich with her own love of discovering the fullness of Catholic truth. Many times tears flowed from her eyes in joy. I remember she nearly cried her way through the entire Chrism Mass on Monday of Easter week and was confirmed that Saturday. And I also remember how that within just a few weeks, she began to have grave doubts and fears about whether she had done the right thing, began to come to her own conclusions about things rather than trusting the authentic teaching magisterium of the Catholic Church. All that I could think of to say to her was, "Dear soul, I think you are believing your doubts and doubting your beliefs." And this is what we find essentially in Israel's journey in Exodus chapter 14. They had wrongly symbolized and interpreted the meaning of their doubts and fears. So this year on our Lenten journey, may we give the Holy Spirit the freedom to move freely through our history, our past, where some of our soul may still be stuck in some fear and doubt that needs to be thawed and refreshed with a true word from God, where we can move from bondage to freedom. And so during our Lenten journey, may we allow the Holy Spirit to help us make the next sacrifice that love asks, to patiently endure the next suffering that love allows, and to trust for the next promise that love offers. Thank you for joining us today. Please join us again next week as Father Ryan Adorjan brings a reflection on a story from Genesis chapter 15 about the Israelites' fear of dying of thirst from having no water, and how that bears on their spiritual journey as well. Thank you, and God bless you.